Okay, hello. This is a video about certain kinds of dialogues in GNOME 3.0, particularly on Pop OS here. We're gonna have a look first at Scribus. In order to use Scribus, it is mandatory to use these little pop-up menus like Properties, Text Properties, Styles Manager, and while you're using it, you don't want to close them and then reopen them because it's just a pain in the butt to have to reopen that many. And you'll notice that they stay on top no matter what I click here. And this makes sense in the program, but here's the problem. They stay on top even when I switch applications. And that's just ridiculous, okay? This is not how the dialogue is supposed to work. I'm sure that is how it is encoded. I'm sure that's what the programmer was consciously deciding for it to do, but that is not the correct behavior. That is not the kind of behavior that a user would expect. That's what I mean by correct behavior. All right, and similarly, if I were to, let's say, try to upload a video here, and I open this Open Files dialog. This Open Files dialog is a child window of this Chromium or this Chrome parent window, and it is on top. It is forced to be on top, and it stays on top. But if I change over to Scribus, it's still on top, and it's not supposed to be. This window is associated with the Chrome process, so why is it still on top when I've swapped to another application? Who knows? This is not the correct behavior. It may be what was coded, but again, this is stupidity. This should not be like this. And moreover, it's unusable. This is a complete nuisance. Like, I can't get anything done because of this. I'm always closing these stupid windows and opening them back up. And it's actually a problem here. Let's say I navigate and I go to a different folder or something, and I go to like documents, or let's say I go look through a whole bunch of system folders. I find something that I wanted to upload. It doesn't have to be a system folder. The point is that I will have put in a lot of effort into finding a file. This is particularly a problem when I have a lot of files. I don't have a lot of files on this computer, but if I did, this would be a very large issue. And then, oh no, I got to do something else now. I can't just find the file. Let's say I found the file, but it's not the right size, right? Okay. I just remembered that I have to resize it for a certain website that doesn't have any JavaScript on the site to resize the image after I upload it to the page. So now I have to open up GIMP, right, and go and try to edit that, but I can't do that because this is in the way. Okay, so you can see how annoying this gets very quickly and how disruptive it is. Now, sure, there's this desktop metaphor which I could use to separate apps, but the basic premise is that the apps should be separated whether they are on a desktop or not, whether they are on a different virtual desktop or not. So I shouldn't have to use this workaround, and in general, Linux needs to fix its attitude towards workflow. Its workflow should just work. You shouldn't have to always think of a workaround to deal with the stupidity of the programmer, okay? Programmer is stupid, the user is not. I know it's always the other way around from the point of view of the programmer, but truly, the user is not stupid, the programmer is stupid, okay? And that's why Apple wins, okay? So if you want to beat Apple, if you want Linux to actually become commercially viable and viable as a desktop alternative, then you guys have to fix this stuff in order to even make baby steps towards that objective. And if you're one of those snooty people that thinks Linux should only be for smart people, well, guess what? You're shooting yourself in the foot, because it requires a user base to force developers to respect the operating system and invest time in making things work properly, okay? So if there's no user base, that developer goes to another operating system. So don't be an idiot and assume that just because you're smart and you know a couple of smart people, you're going to have a working operating system. You need people, you need a demographic, and that demographic cannot be 0.1% of the population.